If you've explored DeFi in the Ethereum realm, for sure you would have heard of Uniswap. You want to buy coins. Uniswap, you want to earn rewards. Uniswap, you want a Uniswap. But then what's Uniswap? Uniswap is essentially a decentralized exchange, or DEX for short, which means it lets you swap cryptocurrencies directly, peer-to-peer, without needing some big bank or middleman to hold your hand. Say if you want to swap your Ethereum for some random meme coin in the market called Woo Woo Dog for example, Uniswap is the place where you swap your Ethereum without needing to wait for approvals or dealing, with the help of automated market maker and community-funded liquidity pool which helps everything runs in order. Uniswap was built on the Ethereum blockchain, a pioneer network where smart contracts first kicked off. It's evolved a lot since then, from V1 to V4, and now supports other blockchains like Optimism and Arbitrum too, which makes swaps faster and cheaper. Anyway, back to our main course. I'm trying to figure out the mentality of the holders of Uniswap. If we take a look at Uniswap, this token, to be specific, doesn't have much extraordinary use cases, probably one. If we take a look on the internet or their platform, the properties of the token Uniswap are introduced as a governance token, meaning users are able to vote on policies changes, like, as if the UNI holders are the shareholders of the company. Community leads the company moving left and right or up and down. Yeah, that's what governance token about. But then, there's some controversial with the recent issue regarding the Uniswap lab. Because the governance vote passed with very little information about the allocation of roughly $171 million on a project known for Unichain, they mean the spending is pretty big. Like, yeah, it's really big if you take a closer look. Now let's continue to the part of tokenomics to give you an idea how the token circulates. So, Uniswap started with 1 billion token pre-minted or created at Genesis before launched. In other words, roughly around 21% goes to the team, 18% goes to the investors, 60% to the community. 60% of which breaks down to two parts. 15% were airdropped to users who were joined the event during the period of Q3 2020, like each users were given 400 UNI per address, and was given to 12,000 address, that accounted to only 4.8% of the max supply for Uniswap, where the remaining 10.2% were distributed to liquidity providers and investors. Then 45% of the 60% were known for community governance treasury, in other words, money decided by what the community governance voted for. For example, a small portion of 10 million Uniswap were funded on the liquidity mining program in short span of 2 months. Though there were mention about 2% inflation after 4 years of the release of the token, I haven't found information about this, so this part isn't very valid, and I decided to not account it. All of them slowly vested off. The simple meaning of it is, it won't affect much on the token price. One of the big portion, the community governance treasury, were considered a lock liquidity because there are really rare use cases on it for what the community voted for on that part, so it's like basically sitting on its vault. If we take a look on Uniswap's blog, they actively spend on development with the revenue they earned from the swap fees on their platform. In case if you're not familiar with Uniswap or DEX platform, almost all of them charges a swap fee, in which Uniswap charges a 0.3% on every each of the swap. Assume that you swap $10,000 USDC for 3 ETH, $30 is their revenue. Where they have an average of 1 to over 2 million fees every single day generated on their platform, suggesting how strong their fundamental is. For the user's side now, there weren't actually any ways of obtaining or earn Uniswap other than buying them on the secondary market, which means by trading with users, which it reduces the outflow drastically. The only way users can earn off the platform is by being a liquidity pool supplier. That's currently the only way to earn from them. Other than that, which is unofficial, is by staking your Uniswap token on exchange or through dApp's platform too. But that's not the point. If somehow user were able to make money from this very strong platform which hasn't yet collapsed during the big bear, and the active development from the team. If somehow they were able to make money, like something called the revenue sharing, or once known for fee switch, where user could earn a small fractions from swaps transactions, the community would mad about Uniswap. In fact, in news has been constantly mentioned on the internet, and I was thinking about, there would be big reason if Uniswap transformed themselves from an individual company which earned money themselves, to an ecosystem where users and company can both share the revenue and responsibility. But it will be very absurd for a company to launch this secret weapon news to the public during a bear market. Though it still depends on the community either if they will vote for it. Yeah. Overall, this platform, uniswap.org, the website where Uniswap Tokens, is strong mainly because of the ecosystem of Ethereum. That's their fundamental, which could hardly change in a while. Uniswap, this token remains strong. From what I believe, the expectation from the public of they can share revenue with this fundamentally strong company. Expectation, yep.